Michigan, round 20 of the 2021 championship season brings us with 11 races to go, 10 races to go in the championship season. And on the pole for today's race is the championship leader of Jesse Turner. Turner leads by only 38 points over DJ Kurtis. Kurtis was able to close the gap by 20 with his podium finish at Watkins Glen. Turner finishing down in 14th. But for this news headlines for this race weekend, a lot has happened in silly season. Ryan Acosta is moving over to Mace Enterprises for the 2022 season. The biggest news headline of them all this week. And after that, it was a domino effect. Dylan Schwallenberg is going to be staying with Rodriguez Racing. He's starting 5th today. He's 3rd in the championship stand. He's looking to try and close back any sort of ground he can in this year's championship bid. Anthony Marchese will drive the 3rd car at Rodriguez Racing for the 2022 season. Jake Bassinger solidified his state in the Turner Performance Camp. He's going to be there for next season. And also John Arndt is staying with the Allen Family Racing Team. And to top it all off, for silly season 2022, it was announced that the full-time car count has been reduced to 45, so there will be at a maximum of only 45 full-time cars racing in the 2022 season next year. So a lot has happened off the track this week. But as we focus for this race, the top 2 in the championship standings have been impressive across the board. Turner on pole, Kurtis only 1/1000th of a second off the pole, looking to take the win today and close the gap to Jesse Turner in the championship standings. Rodriguez, Shelley, Schwallenberg, the top 5. Let's get down to start the race. Field get set and ready to roll off for the race. Michigan, 75 laps. Coming into this race, the series has decided to go with a softer tire, so we're expecting that tire wear will be a little more aggressive than in seasons past. Jesse Turner, DJ Kurtis, the title rivals on the front row. Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwallenberg on the bottom. They have been so good and consistent lately. Rodriguez Racing hoping to upset the party for the Fords. Shelley Bassinger up top. John Arndt, Schwallenberg, Bassinger, they have been in the news all week with their deals for next season. Nick Mace in car 20 on the bottom, looking for a good race today. Samuel England for Red Bull Racing is starting inside the top 10 with Zayden Davidson on the outside, with Monster Energy Racing just outside of the top 10. Johnson and Jones ran really good at Watkins Glen. Can they do something great this afternoon? As we come to complete the field's pace lap, as the pace car dives it onto pit road, Jesse Turner, DJ Kurtis, the main title rivals. How is the race going to unfold? We're racing at Michigan. Jesse Turner really struggled to get up to speed. DJ Kurtis round the outside. Matthew Rodriguez in the middle, but Turner gathers it up on the bottom. Off of turn 2. All weekend, the top side has been where you want to be. That's how it was last year. And I expect that to be the best group to be in. Everyone checks up on the bottom. Turner has to lift a whole lot. And DJ Kurtis shoots out with the advantage. And everyone races off of turn 4. Kurtis leads lap 1 over James Shelley and Jake Bassinger. Side right away is where you want to be. Everyone jumping up high. And the top side is where the momentum's going to be. Jesse Turner, already 2 laps complete, has dropped a ways inside the top 10. Nick Mace has gotten to the outside of him. Nick Heracles in the 0 has worked his way to the top 10. You see Bobby Jones in the picture. But Jesse Turner just down to 10th place. But the top 3 trying to break away. And a little further back as everyone starts to race. But you see Eric Damax, Nick Mace's teammate, is all the way down at the back of the field. Jordan Davis had to check up a lot on the bottom. The inside's just not going anywhere. Dejon Weeks is all the way down here in the 30s. He's on the bottom. The bottom is just not moving. The top side's moving so far. Mitchell Collins making his debut in the Sony Cup Series. And Collins in the 80 for Anjato is into the top 30. John Art driving the SDP Dodge for Allen Family Racing Team. Motors his way by Jake Bassinger to move his way up to third. This race team won last year with Ryan Griffin. They're looking to go back-to-back. And Art, side by side with Shelley, got the run on the bottom. Is able to get alongside. But Art really needs to try and clear himself. But James Shelley drives it down to the corner. A powerful move by James Shelley round the outside. And Shelley holds on to second place. Didn't last very long for John Art. Art was not able to make that move on the bottom, and he kind of stalled. Lost a lot of positions. Nick Pericles for CM Racing has moved his way up in the top 5. And Pericles, what a showing it's been in the first 10 laps for Pericles to emerge as one of the favorites at the front. Shelley again has another challenger. This time, Zayden Davidson at the bottom, but Davidson's really struggling. Pericles way up high. Pericles not able to make any momentum there. The 91 struggles on the bottom to make any move. The inside's not really prevailing right now. Jake Bassinger moves his way back up to third place. Take a little dive further back in the field. Richard Johnson underneath of Bobby Jones. This is at the back end of the top 10. Dylan Young trying to get back in the top 10 as he goes right by Bobby Jones. Back in 12th position, Alex Bianco. Dylan Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg was one of the victims at the start of the race on the bottom. Fell all the way down to 13th. Jeffrey Lynn's in 14th. Nick Mace is a ways down the running order. There's Cody Lamas, Ryan Griffin. Griffin in the 37 behind Charles Sanford. Samuel England qualified inside the top 10, but he's down all the way near, almost contact with Griffin and Sanford as they ran up on the back end of Nick Mace. Ryan Acosta signing a deal to go to Mace Enterprises. He's leaving Allen Family Racing Team after 7 years of racing in this 45 Dodge. And that was one of the most shocking things I've seen in silly seasons in a long time. Ryan Acosta's been with that team for so many years. It is going to be a change of guard, seeing Acosta move over to a different race team. But this is the battle just inside the top 20. You see Jeffrey White, Griffin's down to 21st now. Chris Dodd, Zach Rodgers, Vince Freeze, James Orfox, Doug Lockrodom Caps. Dejon Weeks really struggling with his number 3 of the CM Racing car. Weeks coming off of the win at Watkins Glen and capping it off and following it up next week at Michigan, just running a 28.8 seconds back after 14 laps. And Jordan Fisher, near contact with Hayden Klein and Alexander Rowe. Anthony Marchese. Marchese signed the deal to go to Rodriguez Racing, a better car. Even though this Rodriguez Racing's giving some help to North Border Motorsports for this race season. The Joseph Strigley Racing cars, Charlie Smith and Jeff James in this battle. Jordan Davis, and one of the big surprises, I think, Eric DeMack, Zachary Fitzwater, Sean Harpo, really struggling in these first 15 laps. They are deep in the pack, and they're in a big scramble right now from about 30th down to 42nd. A lot of race cars right bunched up together. Back at the front of the field, Jake Bassinger has moved his way up to second place. He's got a target on the 19 and contact between Bassinger and Kurtis. And Bassinger's down to the apron trying to take the lead. Kurtis has led the opening 15 laps, and Kurtis was not going to give that over. Bassinger gave it a hard-fought effort, but his momentum stalls, and here comes Zayden Davidson. Davidson moved his way past Jake Bassinger, now trying to take the race lead from DJ Kurtis side by side in turn 1. Kurtis and Davidson in equal cars, equal equipment. Davidson and Kurtis have both ran really well against each other as teammates. Davidson has really impressed me. Bassinger giving Davidson a push, trying to take the lead. Davidson trying to push up the track, trying to take the lead from his teammate. They're 3 wide further back. Shelley emerges with 4th place. But Kurtis holds on with the lead for now. But Davidson trying to fight this. Zayden Davidson has a quick race car. He's signed on with that team for into next year. This is one of his best opportunities to try and get a race win. He slides up, trying to take the lead. Down the back straightaway, but Davidson doesn't push the issue. Gives Kurtis the outside. If this would have been later in the run, I would have just went up and took it. But Davidson giving his teammate a little more respect. John Art nearly into the corner panel of Jake Bassinger. Impressive by Nick Pericles in the 0 to be up here. But Shelley has a run on the front 2 cars. And he goes with Kurtis. And Kurtis gonna go right back out into the lead. 3 wide, Rodriguez, Pericles, John Art. This is the battle for 5th place. Art's gonna get that. Pericles in a good car that's capable to try and battle for the race win. See him racing and Kurtis racing. We've talked about it at Watkins Glen. They just they're not as competitive in the last handful of races as we expect them to be. This is the defending championship, the drivers' championship team that Luke Martin won last year. He drove the 0. The 0 is part-time, which Dejon Weeks is pretty much that old 0 car. But anyway, this 0 car was the old 31 from last year. And we know Dejon Weeks finished 2nd to Ryan Griffin in this race last year. So we know Nick Pericles is driving a really good race car. And Pericles, it is very good to see him inside the top 10 with the leaders in the first 20 laps, showcasing his ability. And Richard Johnson and Bobby Jones, back-to-back weeks, Monster Energy Racing, looking superb. First to come down pit road for today, Jeffrey Lynn, lap 21. He pitted from where? That was inside the top 15 for Horizon Group. This was lap 21, so it was a lot earlier than I would have expected. So what is this going to be, a 3-stop race? I don't think we would have expected 3 stops here at Michigan. We had a 1-stop last year, and the tire wear has really been apparent in all of practice, in qualifying, and even so in the race, for Lynn to be pitting after only just a little over 20 laps. There's the leaders. DJ Kurtis is on pit road. James Shelley, Zayden Davidson, Jake Bassinger. A lot of drivers have chosen to come down pit road. So the leaders that did not come down and pit was Matthew Rodriguez and Nick Pericles. See Dylan Schwallenberg, Dylan Young, Jeffrey White, Samuel England, Cody Lamas, Chris Dodd, Ryan Acosta, Dom Katz. They all stayed out and expected them to pit this time around, and indeed they have to emerge back on the racetrack and get sorted out after pit stops. DJ Kurtis, James Shelley, they're out front. Then it's Zayden Davidson in 3rd place. Shelley looked like he might have had a run, but it stalled out. 4th place, Matthew Rodriguez. Then Jake Bassinger, Richard Johnson. Man, King Richard, he is back, isn't he? After 2 weeks in a row, Richard Johnson looking really good in the top 10 places. Nick Pericles in 7th place. Dylan Schwallenberg's back in the top 10. He's in 8th. Then it's Jeffrey Lynn. Actually, Bobby Jones there in 9th. Then Jeffrey Lynn in the top 10. Alex Bianco in 11th. And the point leader, Jesse Turner, in 12th place on the back foot. But we have 50 laps of racing to go and probably 2 more pit stops. A battle for the lead once again. James Shelley won the Indy 250 a couple of races ago and ran really good at Watkins Glen. And on the bottom, what a move by James Shelley. He slides up right in front of DJ Kurtis. Kurtis has to give way. Cybertron Motorsports 2nd and 3rd. Going to look a challenge on the Turn Performance Fords in the top 3 places. And another one back there in 4th place. A lot of drivers expected the Fords to be the favorite. Davidson giving Kurtis a little bit of a push down the racetrack. Kurtis trying to get the lead back, but Davidson may want to try and take this himself. He goes up the middle. What a move! 3 wide. Zayden Davidson side by side with James Shelley. Kurtis, the wise old fox, gives way to his teammate who's coming through. The Caterpillar Ford against the Smithfield Ford. To the top side, still the preferred group, but Davidson pushing, trying to take the lead here at Michigan. Zayden Davidson. Ever since he got this opportunity at Cybertron Motorsports, he has been knocking on the door of trying to get his first Sony Cup Series win. And Davidson still working on Shelley. Shelley on the high side. Shelley, he's an old veteran as well, and he's done so well in his career. And it was good to see James Shelley get that win in Indianapolis, and he's coming into his own, showcasing why he's in that Turner Performance car, and he's battling back against Zayden Davidson. What a fight this is for the top spot at Michigan, and Shelley prevails for now. Leaders continue to race at the front. Davidson pursuing the lead against James Shelley, but Shelley defending for all his might. However, fourth all the way down to about 7th place in a single file line, Bassinger, Rodriguez, Richard Johnson, and Dylan Schwallenberg. They are closing down on the leaders, and Davidson has got more than a car's length up alongside of James Shelley. He's got the advantage, but the run on the top side, Shelley again holds the lead. And Davidson at the front of the field battling for the lead at Michigan. But DJ Kurtis second in the championship. Jesse Tyner has emerged back in the top 10. He's 9th on the track. Kurtis going right back around the outside. He let his teammate have a turn at Shelley. Kurtis kind of backed off, but here comes 4th place Bassinger. He knows a challenge is coming, and DJ Kurtis, the 2-time champion, challenging James Shelley now. Challenge may come. Here comes Kurtis. Shelley pushes up the track, and Kurtis, near contact up the corner. Kurtis has the momentum, and DJ Kurtis is back out in front at Michigan. Running up on lap traffic, Allison Rain really slow up ahead, but it's Kurtis that takes the race lead. Zayden Davidson hoping to use the lap car as a good way to get by the 71, but Shelley's still battling back on the high side, and here he comes. Shelley, and Kurtis is choosing to run the inside, give his teammate a draft, but he needs to cover Shelley. Shelley has a run, and his teammate Bassinger's back in play. But Kurtis has the momentum, but Shelley sends it round the outside. He's alongside the 19. Oh, man. Don't know if I would have done that if I was Kurtis. Bassinger a little hesitant down the straightaway of where he wants to place his car. He goes up high. Shelley drives it in way up the racetrack, but he's got the groove. He's way out front, and James Shelley back out ahead. Look at this. We are nearly 4 wide at Michigan on this front straightaway. Matt Rodriguez, Richard Johnson, Dylan Schwallenberg within 0.6 of a second. These drivers are within a full second. 7 drivers for the lead of this one. We are halfway in the race. We're going to run through the field for you. See Shelley, Kurtis, Bassinger, Davidson, Rodriguez, Johnson, Schwallenberg. Turner trying to close the gap about 5 seconds back. Bobby Jones, Nick Pericles. Then Ryan Griffin, Jeffrey Lynn, Alex Bianco, Jeffrey White. Dylan Young making up the top 15. Charles Sanford, Cody Lamas, John Arndt, Nick Mason, Samuel England. That is the top 20. And it looks like Mitchell Collins is in trouble. He's on pit road. Play what happened with Mitchell Collins. Collins blew a tire down the straightaway, lost the car. And Collins, for debut, for Anjado, just blew a tire down the straightaway. That was a little odd, but he was battling with Eric DeMax, and that was a position for, what was that, 40th? Eric DeMax in that Mace Enterprises car is nowhere today. And that is very disappointing from Eric DeMax and team, as they had a lot of high hopes to do well today. The lead, DJ Kurtis versus James Shelley. No contest at all. Pit stops are coming yet again, but when will they come? Matthew Rodriguez, I think Dylan Schwallenberg. I know for a fact Rodriguez has the best tires of the leaders. However, he really lost a lot of momentum in turn 1 the previous lap. Jake Bassinger, Zayden Davidson, DJ Kurtis lost so much positions, lost a lot of time. But Richard Johnson for Monster Energy Racing to the high side and is in 3rd position. We have 2 pit stops left to go. the way it's going, they'll be pitting probably, I would say, lap 42 to lap 46. And then from then on, we'll have pit stops near the very end of the race. So I would expect the undercut strategy to be the best one, but we've seen the overcut be the place to be. Richard Johnson, though, has been since 2016. He's grabbed a win in the Sony Cup Series round the outside of Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg trying to battle back on the inside. Had a really tough start to the race. He's back in the top 5 and ahead of, importantly, the championship leader, Jesse Turner. Turner trying to close back. Davidson losing momentum on the bottom, but for the lead, Bassinger's alongside of his teammate. But it's going to take a miracle, really, to take the lead on the bottom. You need a little bobble or something, a loss of momentum, and that could happen in a handful of laps when lap traffic starts to be more of an issue. But Shelley trying to control the race. He's doing a masterful job of doing that so far. Deeper in the pack as pit stops come around shortly. Dejon Weeks has only worked his way up to 23rd. Ryan Acosta and Chris Dodd are 21st and 22nd. Allen Family Racing Team and CM Racing really struggling at this current moment. Zach Rodgers in the 99, 27th. And then you see Zachary Fitzwater, Kyle Collins in 30th. Sean Harple's down here. UER's having a terrible race so far. None of them in the top 20. And then John Art, who was up front battling for the lead early on, he's all the way down in what is 19th, racing for 18th against Nick Mace. For the lead still, Jake Bassinger's able to get alongside, but still the inside just is not where you want to be. Bassinger tried it, just nothing there. Pit stops coming up any lap now. They pitted around lap 21, 22, 23. And here they come, I believe. Shelley and Bassinger are going to come down pit road just behind lap traffic of Charlie Smith. That might hold him up just a little bit. Zayden Davidson's also in. Rodriguez Racing Camry stay out. Schwallenberg and Rodriguez. They are doing the overcut strategy. There they go. The two Camrys. And you see DJ Kurtis, Richard Johnson. They are in to make their second stop of the day. The field starts to cycle out. People are leaving pit road. There's Matthew Rodriguez in terms of the leaders. Davidson up the middle on Richard Johnson. So Davidson probably a net third as there's Dylan Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg trying to lead pit road. He's going to be a little bit off the pace compared to the leaders. But Shelley has gotten to the lead. And they can go about 21 to 24 laps on a tank of fuel and on these tires. I just wonder when they're going to pit one more time. It's going to be very, very close to the end of the race, but there's no way they can make it. There's no way. They have to make one more stop. As we come up to lap 50 in a couple of laps, it is Shelley versus Bassinger at the front now. But just like they did after the first stop, they could get strung back up together. And Eric DeMax is down in 39th position. And that is just a run that is unacceptable for Mace Enterprises. Something has got to be amiss with that 4 car. Something's got to be having them down on power. Bassinger uses this as a loss of momentum. Dirty air on the 71. He takes the lead. It's going to be an exciting run to the finish. With 25 laps to go at the line, this is going to be so good. Lap cars are dictating this race a little bit at the moment. Bassinger struggling to get by some lap down cars, and that is going to make this race so interesting. Zayden Davidson has been able to make this move around James Shelley to get up in a second. Richard Johnson, DJ Kurtis, Dylan Schwallenberg. 6 cars in contention for the lead. Richard Johnson at the inside of Shelley. Here comes Davidson with a run. Davidson to the outside of Bassinger, but Bassinger trying to go to the inside of the lap cars. And that's just not really where you want to be. And Zayden Davidson, in search of his first career Sony Cup Series win, he goes to the outside, now to the inside, as he moves his way to the inside of Eric DeMax and Doug Lockrow. I think this is exactly how you needed to make the pass. Get a good run down the straightaway. Richard Johnson's there, Shelley there as well. And Davidson has it. He's got this one. Unless Eric DeMax pinches him a whole lot down into turn 3. Shelly's got a run. Wonder what Shelly does with this. DJ Kurtis is way up top. Could have a big run off the corner. But Davidson is going to get this run. Oh, Schwallenberg almost in the back end of Kurtis. Kurtis way down the inside on the apron. The race for the lead is on. Zachary Fitzwater blowing up in front of the pack. And out of the race goes Zachary Fitzwater. I don't know if we've really had any sort of impact on the race. Mitchell Collins on debuts down in 42nd. Everyone is still running, but Fitzwater looks like he's going to finish plumb last. Xander Rowe, Jordan Davis, Anthony Marchese, Daniel Bouchard, all in the way of the leaders. But still, Davidson has to work through the traffic. Davis nearly into Rowe. And Schwallenberg darting and diving up from behind of Eric DeMax. Shelly chasing Davidson down the straightaway. He might be in the preferred groove down here in 1 and 2. He had to lift a lot. Davis chasing Alexander Rowe. They're trying to get their lap back, but it's going to be very difficult to be able to pass that 91 now that he's out ahead. Shelly's in second. Schwallenberg, Bassinger. Then it's Johnson and Kurtis. Man, this race with the leaders is so amazing to watch. Oh, DeMax and Marchese make contact off turn 4. The leaders are in a hornet's nest because all these drivers are racing for owner points' sake, trying to get the most points possible. Davidson around the outside of Hayden Klein, trying to extend the advantage. Boy, are they racing so aggressively further back. Bassinger, Kurtis, Johnson trying to get through the lap traffic. Schwallenberg has moved his way up to second place after making a very crucial pass on James Shelly. Richard Johnson's up to 4th. DJ Kurtis is in the top 5. Jesse Turner in car 17 with Matthew Rodriguez. They are closing in on this battle as they continue to race super hard with the lap traffic. Turner, the championship leader right now, a good solid run inside the top 10, but still nonetheless losing points to his championship rival at the current moment. Kurtis, though, is in a hornet's nest, trying to go around the outside of Daniel Bouchard. They are 4 wide. What a move by Kurtis. Oh, contact! Contact with Bouchard! Kurtis up the track! And Kurtis is around! Bouchard's on his roof! And second in the championship standings, DJ Kurtis is wadded up. And DJ Kurtis, this is the 3rd time in the last 5 races that Kurtis has been involved in something down in turns 1 and 2. And this is going to put him out of the race the 2nd time he's DNF'd this season. And what a heartbreak for DJ Kurtis. He looked so fast today. Flew unreal scenes here at Michigan. DJ Kurtis, 2nd in the championship race, 38 points back entering this race. He's going to lose a load of points in this. Daniel Bouchard, the lap car, pushed up into DJ. And in the outside while they both go, Marchese had nowhere to go but into Daniel Bouchard. And around went all 3 drivers, but Kurtis, his bid for the 3rd title to tie Jordan Davis for the most championships in the Sony Cup Series, could be in danger after many heartbreaks in the last 5 races. Just unfortunate results. Hate to see it, really. They're 4 wide. DeMax, Bouchard in the middle with Bassinger, the 2nd car. Kurtis goes way around the outside, but Bouchard drives it in there, and he's going to end up dooring DJ Kurtis. And if Bouchard let off here, we would have been okay, but Bouchard and Kurtis, they just hooked together, and the Cloud9 AlphaTauri Toyota just took Kurtis up against the wall. Good save by Davis to miss this accident, but Marchese got loose off of turn 2, back up into Kurtis, which shot him into Bouchard, and Jesse Turner further back. able to miss this accident. And this was very important from Turner to miss this. And Jesse Turner is going to have the opportunity to put a lot of points in between him and DJ Kurtis after Michigan. With DJ Kurtis. He drove it in there, and Daniel Bouchard. Kurtis was racing hard with the leaders to get good track position, and he was in a wad of race cars, and that's just what happened. See, Turner was a ways back from the accident when it unfolded, but to see his title rival get put in the wall like this, it's gonna definitely make Turner a bit less anxious to see this. Gonna miss this accident down the straightaway. What a move by Turner. And Jesse Turner, the 2015 champion, looking good today to gain a lot of points. So the yellow flag is out for the first time today on lap 61. The leaders are on pit road. Nobody stayed out. Bobby Jones, he pitted earlier, and he's gonna be on the tail end of the lead lap as he had fell a lap down. He pitted early. Schwallenberg in the 10. Schwallenberg in the 10 leads pit road first. Dylan Young second. Then James Shelley beats out Zayden Davidson. The lap cars pitted with the leaders, so don't get alarmed by some drivers like Doug Locker leaving. But Zayden Davidson came in as the leader, and he lost a lot of positions. Wow, okay. DJ Kurtis is going to fall out of the race in 39th. He's only going to get 1 point. The Drivers' Championship has swung massively in the hands of the Turner Performance driver of Jesse Turner. But for the battle of the win at Michigan, Dylan Schwallenberg is going to restart this race in P1. He's going to hold the reins as the leader. Schwallenberg looking to get the win today. Dylan Young is in second. It's been a while since Young's been to victory lane. He's second place. Shelley, Davidson, Bassinger, Ryan Griffin, and Charles Sanford. They are in the top 10 with 12 laps of racing to go. Lap car still in the inside, and Bobby Jones in car 30. Sail into the lead lap. He's ahead of Dylan Schwallenberg, which might affect his race car. But Jesse Turner further back. He needs to think about the big picture today when it comes to points. Dylan Schwallenberg enters this race third in the championship. And he needs to really get past Bobby Jones early if he wants to have any shot at the victory today. Dylan Young just behind him. Man, that 16 car, what it would be if Dylan Young could grab the victory. All of Turner Performance Racing has grabbed a win this season, except Dylan Young. Young here at Michigan, he's always been very good at the 2-mile tracks, very good at California. Bobby Jones really affecting the 10 car. And Dylan Young to the outside. Shelley's there. Dylan Young getting past him. Dylan Schwallenberg. And Schwallenberg, yet I can already hear it now, is furious with Bobby Jones being in the way. Jones is affecting the leader right now. Dirty air on the front end of that 16 car. They do not know how to get around Bobby Jones. Jones is able to defend against the leaders. If caution comes out now, he gets back on the lead lap, the tail end of the lead lap, to be able to fight and get more positions. But Dylan Young now falling victim to the same thing Schwallenberg is. He needs to get by Bobby Jones, but the inside's not going to cut it. Shelley to the outside now. Shelley in the 71 to the outside of his teammate. Richard Johnson's back there trying to get past Dylan Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg trying to get his car wound back up yet again. Shelley, car 71, darting at the inside of Bobby Jones. And that might have been a winning pass. That might have been the winning pass. Once you get out front, it's very tough to make a pass back. When you get clean air like James Shelley just did, you can control the race. And James Shelley's out front. Zayden Davidson, Jake Bassinger picking their way through. What a move by Bassinger. He just made 2 passes off turn 4. Bassinger made a move past Johnson and Schwallenberg. How about Charles Sanford? Sanford's in 7th for Red Bull Racing. And Jesse Turner has been in the outside wall, but still carrying on. Needing to get another top 10 result. Cody Lamas, 4th in the title race, has moved his way back into the top 10 past Jeffrey White. Bassinger working on Bobby Jones. Jones slides in turn 4, opens the lead, opens the position to Bassinger. Bassinger's going to try and get 3rd, but Davidson. Here comes Zayden Davidson. It has been such a long time since Davidson's first start in the Sony Cup Series. He's alongside of Shelley, and Zayden Davidson in turn 1 makes that pass. Zayden Davidson took the lead from James Shelley. How did that happen? We're alongside down the front straightaway, but I expected Shelley to be able to hold back Zayden Davidson, but Davidson drove it in there, and Shelley was just a little too high up the road and gave the position up. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Now he's going to have to get back at it. Davidson is in the lead. See Turner trying to get another 2 points on the board as he drives it to the inside of Charles Sanford. Turner needs to be thinking about the championship standings. He is going to be gaining so many points. Right now where he is running, he'll be getting 36 points on the board and gaining 35 points on DJ Kurtis in the title race. And Dylan Schwallenberg needs to be finishing ahead of Jesse Turner today. Dylan Young way up the road. Bassinger working on Shelley. This is the race for the win with 5 laps to go. Zayden Davidson has 2 very good drivers behind him. Shelley came out and won the Indianapolis 250 to score his 5th career Sony Cup Series win. Jake Bassinger this week said that he'll be back in that car for next season in 2022. That ruled out any word of retirement. And what it would be if Bassinger can do that in the week and come out and win. It's been a long time for Bassinger since his last win. He got a well of a run on Davidson, but the momentum is slowly shrinking. It's going back in Davidson's favor. Shelley's up there too. Cody Lamas is just inside the top 10 right now. Well, not anymore. Ryan Griffin just got by. Dylan Young's in 4th. Schwallenberg holds 5th. Richard Johnson 6th. Jesse Turner in 7th. And Sanford in 8th. Dejon Weeks. Dejon Weeks has been poor all day. And the caution flag has saved him. Just like Griffin Sanford. He has been able to use this final pit stop of the day to put him in the top 10 and get track position. And Dejon Weeks, last week's winner, is in the top 10 places. Eric DeMax is a lap down, but Griffin just holding on to a top 10 run right now. But at the front of the pack, as we come back to the line, it'll be 10 laps of racing to go. 2 laps of racing to go. Zayden Davidson has half a second on James Shelley. It has been over 200-something races. I'm going to have to add the math up. If Davidson can hold this off, he has held the most starts of any driver with no wins in his career. Cybertron Motorsports gave him the opportunity of a lifetime to replace Eric Burton in the 91, and he has done so well, even better than what Burton was doing in that car before he stepped in. Jake Bassinger trying to get 2nd place from James Shelley here. And Bassinger's going to move his way up to 2nd position. Dylan Schwallenberg trying to fend off against Richard Johnson. Johnson's got a run on Schwallenberg, but Zayden Davidson out front. The fans are going to love this one. The drivers are going to congratulate Zayden Davidson on this one. And what a proud team owner the Cybertron Motorsports team is going to feel after this one. Finally, Davidson wins a Sony Cup Series race. Zayden Davidson, the upset, pulls through in 2021. from Monster Energy Racing to Joseph Shrigley Racing, demoted to Joseph Shrigley Racing, and the team took him off their roster, and Cybertron Motorsports picked him up to replace Eric Burton, and Davidson wins at Michigan on a day where Cybertron Motorsports was heartbroken to see their main contender, their main guy, DJ Kurtis, get taken out by lap traffic. They really want to win the Drivers' Championship this year with DJ Kurtis, and when he fell out of the race, their second car, Zayden Davidson, was able to pull through for the team, and Zayden Davidson holds off some of the best: Jake Bassinger, James Shelley, Dylan Young, and Richard Johnson, the top 5. Dylan Schwallenberg losing out to a top 5 place in the last lap to Richard Johnson. Schwallenberg finishes 6th, only gains 2 points on Jesse Turner in the title race. Charles Sanford and Red Bull Racing gets a top 10 result. Good on them today. Dejon Weeks took a bad car and got a win. This was like a win for CM Racing to be that poor today and get 9th place. Ryan Griffin, last year's winner at Michigan, gets a top 10 result, and that is 2 MER cars in the top 10. But Zayden Davidson is victorious at Michigan. Congratulations to Cybertron Motorsports. This team has got to be so thrilled to give Davidson this opportunity and to see him shine like he's done. What a result by Davidson. Let's get to our finishing results and standings after round 20.